Okay, so now we're going to learn how to make this lovely fascinator. Could also be a hair clip. Okay, so let's see what we will need. We need these feathers. I'm making a black, but I didn't have enough of this spiking feathers, so I'm going to be showing you how I sprayed this cream into black. Okay, then the next one, we need this fan feathers. There's 2 pieces. Then we need this like a velvet shining trimming, almost like a bias. Then our measurement tape. Then we need our elastic band. This is measured 7 inches as usual, because we're going to be using it as a hair ruffle. Then we need our B6000. Then we're going to be using our crinoline. This is a small crinoline. It's not the thick one, it's the soft one, and it's 3 inches width. Okay, then we'll need our electric glue gun, and we need our clip. Then these these are like thread bias sort of, or trimmings. Then our thick pulley, then scissors, black car paint spray because I need to spray the feathers. Then we're making use of needle and thread. Of course, thread will match it. Iron and a cloth. You'll get to know why we need that as we go on. And biro and our circular object. So we'll start off by spraying those feathers like so. So this is the way you spray it. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is measure out the crinoline that we'll be using. So, and what we'll be using is 1.5 yards. So I'm actually measuring it in bits of 18 into 3 places. That gives me 1.5. So the next thing you want to do is to sew the edges as usual. Not really usual, but anyway, for this particular design, we're going to be sewing the edges. So this is one edge that I'm going to show you how to sew. So keep watching and learning. Okay, so we're going to do the same to this edge. You already know how to do that. So the next thing you do is take your needle and thread through that place that you sewed so that it doesn't come out, and you will fold the crinoline in the long length into 2. So I folded it into 2, and now I'm doing running stitches all the way down. So keep watching and learning. Okay, yes, actually you can actually do this in 2 ways. You can actually do 1 yard first, then do 18 inches next. You will see why I say that as we go along. Once you have done it all the way to the end, the next thing you do is to squeeze it. You squeeze it till it is tight. So keep watching and learning. Okay, so once you have squeezed it like so, the next thing you take the other edge and you fold like so. Now we're forming a rose. You turn it and twist it so you have like about 2 layers of the rose, sort of. I guess you understand what I'm saying. Then you sew it together like so. Keep watching and learning. Okay, so now I'm turning the other side to form the rose to be the same size as the other one, to have 2 layers, and I got it, so I'm cutting out the excess. That's why I said you can actually do 18 inches. So I'm sewing the edge. You can actually do 18 inches and do 36. So the 36 will give you the double rows, which we are going to form now, and the 18 will give you the single rows. Okay, so I cut it. So I'm now going to turn it the other way round to form another rose like so. Okay, so see, I'm twisting it again. Now this is in the opposite direction of the way you did the other one. So I'm going to twist it like I did the first one. The first one is on the other side, and I would sew that together as well. So Keep watching. I'm trying to make it tight so that it forms the rose well. If you leave it, if it's not tight, the rose will be a bit loose and big, but I wanted mine to be together and a bit tight. So now I'm sewing the edge of that particular rose. So keep watching and learning. Okay, once I'm done with that, now I'm sewing the two roses together like so. Can you see? So that they're joined together. Now I take the other 18 inches that I've cut out and I'm going to form the same rose. So I'm knotting both ends as usual. Then I twist to form the rose and I sew. Keep watching and learning. Okay, that done, I'm going to take the double rows and that other rows and I'm going to sew them all together. Keep watching and learning. So with this, you can see you could have sewn the half yard separate and sewn the full yard separate, then join it together instead of cutting it as I did. But I'm sure you've gotten what I did. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to sew my leaves. But before you do that, if your crinoline is not straight, you will need to straighten it. If not, your leaves will not give the curve that it's meant to do. And to do that, you just need to place a cloth down, put the crinoline, then place the cloth on top of the crinoline and begin to iron. The places you mainly iron is the place that gives you a hump that is folded. Do you understand? So if it doesn't iron the first way, you turn it the other way. The hump, if it's humped, it's best to iron it that way and it will just become straight. So you can see it's straight. So now we can make use of it. So I'm going to be cutting 6 inches because that's the size of leaf I want. You can make it smaller or you make it bigger. So the next thing I do is to sew it at the edges, like how we did for the rose. So I'm going to sew it at the edge, the two edge. Now if you saw the way I did it, first of all I pleated it, then I sewed it. Now when pleating the other one too, you notice that it's giving the curve up. You follow that curve and you pleat. So that's what I'm doing. Keep watching and learning. Okay, you can see me pleating it again and you can see it has formed the shape. Okay, so I've sewn that side. Now I'm going to sew it to the roses that I've made, making sure that one of the rows is in front. So it's kind of going to be behind two roses like so. So I'm sewing it like so. Keep watching and learning. Okay, now you want all your leaves to be the same size. So the thing you do with the one you've already knotted is you check it, and this is 6.5. So I'm going to ensure the other leaves I'm cutting, because I'm cutting 2 extras, that they are all at the length of 6.5, unless you want some leaves longer than the other, and that's fine. But if you want them at the same length, you check to ensure that they are all the same length after you have sewn one. Okay, so I'm sewing each of the other two. I'm going to be sewing them beside the first one that I put, and you ensure that you turn the back of the rows to sew them firmly underneath as well. Keep watching and learning. Okay, once that's done, you want to, of course, decorate the part that you sewed that is showing. So I'm going to show you two ways that I did it, rather three ways. The first was to use this velvet bias. So I cut it. I first of all checked to see the length that I would need to go round, and I'm putting my glue on top. Then I will just twist it round and hold the edge together so you don't see the top also. You know, if the crinoline chuki part, that part, it can just catch into any cloth and the rest, so you must make sure you hold the top. Or you make use of this thin cord and you'll be putting your glue, but this is a bit more difficult, and you're putting your glue and turning it round like so. That's the second method you can do. I didn't do this for I took this off. I'm just showing you the method you can use. Then this is the last method, which I used for all the three leaves, is to put your uhu gum on it like so. After you do, you take it on top like so. Can you see, on top of that, of the head of the leaf? Then you twist it, you turn it around rather. So that's the method I used finally for all the three tips of the leaves, of the crinoline leaves that I made. Okay. Okay, the next thing you want to do is cover your clip with the velvet bias. Now this is not necessary. You can actually use the clip like the way it is, but I decided to cover it up with the velvet bias or velvet ribbon. Which of them is it called? Velvet ribbon, velvet bias. All right then. So I'm sure you already know how to do this because we did that in our last class, but I'm just showing you how this was done anyway. I think we used bias in the last class, and here we're using the velvet ribbon. So keep watching and learn. Okay, so now the next part is to attach your clip behind the fascinator. Now you need to make sure that you're attaching it in the way that the part that goes up is going to face up, not down. It faces up, and as you're sewing, you'll be lifting up the clip to sew it inside and closing it and taking it round like so. Keep watching and learn. Now you can leave it at just the clip, but if you want the client to have many options, you add the elastic band, which we have cut 7 inches. Now the elastic band is used to hold the hair, of course you know that, into a bun, but the clip is used to just clip on the hair. So you can use the clip on any type of hair actually, but the band is only when you want to do a bond. So, and remember to always pass the needle and thread through the elastic band first of all, and then you sew it on top. Okay, keep watching and learn. The next thing we do, of course, is to cut our piece that we're going to use to cover up the back where we did all our sewing that is very visible. And I love to use zigzag scissors because it makes it look kind of cheeky and not just plain like that. You could also use a flower piece and cover it up, or trimmings to cover it up, which I think I might finally do on this finally before I sell it off. Okay, so but now I'm just making use of foam pulley, which I cut with the zigzag scissors to fit at the back. Keep watching and learn. Okay, now it's time to make it look more cheeky with feathers. Now I decided to not use it as long as it is, but you can use the feathers as long as it is. So what I did was to trim it so that it's not too long, and I started using my B6000 and pushing it underneath the rows, in between the rows and the leaves in there. That's where I stuck it in, and I dotted it all around like that. Keep watching and learning, you will see what I did. And that's how we made this a lovely, pretty crinoline fascinator, and also a clip and also a ruffle. Thanks for watching.